Related, does a strength athlete ever achieve enough hypertrophy? Is there a point in the athlete's development where there is no longer a need to make the muscle larger and only to make them stronger? It's a complicated question. So enough hypertrophy, I mean, that's like saying, you ever get jacked enough? You ever make too much money? I mean, I don't know that you can say yes to that. So as far as in an athlete's development where they no longer need to make the muscles larger and only need to make them stronger, that assumes that these happen like independently, and I don't know that I view them as like two independent processes. I think that the amount of muscle mass increase that co-occurs with strength increase, particularly at high level strength athletes, is much smaller than what occurs in like physique athletes, bodybuilders, etc., who are like primarily just training for size increases and not at all for strength increases. But I think that there's still some hypertrophy occurring nonetheless, even if it's relatively small. Now that being said, the actual hypertrophy process is rather complicated as far as like, does the myofibrillar hypertrophy, just the contractile protein, does that precede some of this sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, which tends to create a more substantial increase in muscle cross-sectional area? Or does the one precede the other? That stuff's still being sussed out. And so this is still an active area of research. But from a practical standpoint, I think trying to get as jacked as possible, using while still doing the specific exercises, the specific for your sport, and the correct intensity ranges to make them go up, would be the goal. I don't ever think you say, I'm jacked enough, I'm going to cut the volume down.
Yeah, last part of this question where it says there's no longer a need to make the muscles larger and only to make them stronger, I think that creates kind of an artificial dichotomy or separation between those two things, when really, at least there is, to be fair, some debate in the research world about how much hypertrophy contributes to strength development and performance. But I tend to lean on the side, and I think you probably do too, that strength performance of a particular muscle, one of the contributing factors to that strength potential is muscle size. The other major contributor would be the neurological, like the skill, the recruitment kind of aspect of it. And so you can't really say, I don't need to make the muscle larger and only to make it stronger, when muscle size is probably a contributor to muscle strength. And so I think that to the extent that you want to continue making your muscles stronger, you should strive to make them larger as well. And I don't think there's actually a way for you to aim to make them stronger without generating some amount of hypertrophy along the way in the process.